Unlock a deeper connection with our community through our Patreon. Gain exclusive access to behind-the-scenes content, bikini hauls, and Patreon-exclusive massage videos. Join our Patreon or download our app to embark on a path of tranquility and self-discovery. Your journey awaits. Namaste.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Psyche Truth. I have a massage video for you today. We're going to work on the pecs, the biceps, and anything in that armpit that's causing tension, or the hands and forearms. So let's go get started. All right, so first things first, Lauren definitely has a bit of an injury going on this right side, which should be helpful for us in regards to our video. Her bicep is tender and a little bit strained from really riding hard on a jet ski. So we are going to come in and start to palpate the area just like we usually do. But right now, the consideration is about the fact that this bicep is angry. So we want to not dig into it, but still learn as much as we can. The other point I want to bring up is this shoulder does seem much higher. It's shortened, and I can't seem the joint itself is protruding forward a bit. That is okay. That's just showing us there's this tension here that's kind of popping it forward, and most likely it's a triangle that we're working with. So I'm going to put my hand directly on that spot because I'm kind of like, brain, this is where I'm headed. And then I'm going to start working on the wrist and taking her through little micro movements as I look for imbalances and tension and shortness. I'm not putting a lot of pressure because of that injury, but if you're practicing on your client or on your friends, you ask them what kind of pressure they're comfortable with. Biceps can still be sensitive whether they're injured or not, but some can handle it more than others. Feeling a lot of tension in the forearm, which can be good because we can affect that forearm a lot more than we can the bicep itself since it's sensitive right now. So I'm going to come up this bone, feels really tight, leads all the way to the thumb. She was definitely holding on with the right side. Possibly for dear life. All right, there's definitely some muscle tension. I'm sure you guys actually can see what I'm hooking onto here in the front of the forearm. It is fascially like connected right underneath that bone. It goes all the way in between. It's important to note that actually when you get in between the bones on the forearm, you can affect the forearm the most that way. It's super powerful. It can get really intense, but most of the time people are just looking for relief in this area and they don't even know it. So I'm gonna get my elbow, come in here, and use that point so I can stay consistently on this. Now I'm gonna ask Lauren, go ahead, I want you to spread the fingers out, and then bring the hand up and down, and just kind of do that a couple times. Work those flexors, extensors. Yep, it's not fun, y'all. There we go. All right. This is all opening us up for that bicep. I'm really trying to get into this triangle here. I definitely see that she's locked up, protecting something. So I'm going to come from the back door and basically try to check out the tricep and see what the posterior side of this scenario is really getting into. She can externally rotate without fighting me, which is a good sign. But there is something going on in there that I'm still trying to figure out. There we go. And we got a little pop in the thumb, so she most likely, we're working this entire line right here. And it's coming up into that pec, but we're not ready to get there yet. But sometimes, instead of just palpating, you can also start to follow how she uses it. You'll feel that there are kind of like grains in there that'll show you the patterns of her movement. I'm putting a little pressure on that bicep now, but it's not fully ready yet. And I'm still gonna work with this thumb because it keeps coming up. I can feel its connection right underneath this collarbone. It's short, so the arm is unable to really rest in extension. This thumb has now given us access to the pec minor attachment and the anterior deltoid, which is really like exactly where we want to go. Always be aware, lots of lymph nodes in this area. If you feel a little ball, let's not do this. Work around the area, don't work on it. When lymph nodes are swollen, they're already doing a lot of work, and we don't want to pressure them to do any more. It could be that the lymph being swollen could even be causing the pain or the injury you're working on. So in the armpit, always consider the lymph when you're going in. I'd like to take this time to shout out to our loyal patrons, Beta Ray Bill, Jeffrey C. Hendershot, and Jay Grady. So now we're in the tricep again, and this shoulder's wanting to curl forward. I'm not gonna fight that because I'm after that tricep, and she's already curling forward, so no problem in continuing that pattern. I'm just putting a nice, stable pressure on the tricep from underneath. It probably doesn't feel good given her response. And I usually do not take people to threshold if I don't have to, but this tricep is holding on. There we go. Trying to relax it. It's a good sign. It's starting to shift everything around. It's not bad if she starts to shorten or if we follow the tension deeper. It's gonna unravel her brain, give her a chance to come up with a new plan. Now this is giving me access to her bicep and her elbow. We're gonna hold a little bit because it is kind of intense in this area. There's a lot of tissue built up and even a little bit of swelling. So I'm gonna coerce that fluid back, but here I'm just holding on to some of the tighter areas with my right hand, like that bicep that I finally have access to. But I'm also trying to coerce the opposite side of the elbow, like the inside of the elbow or the back, because it does seem to be strained there, like it's being pulled out of place. And now I'm really getting in to the interior of her forearm because there's tension there. Ooh, yeah, it's a little sensitive, so I'm gonna back off. It's okay if she's starting to hold in that shoulder. I'm trying to open up something. Sometimes we need to go into it in order to really find the pattern to come out. Now, I feel more comfortable on the bicep. I'm not gonna just dig into it, but I'm gonna grab it from both sides. And I'm putting pressure just a little bit down on the top of the shoulder. And I'm also putting pressure just a little bit up as I just glide up the bicep. Now, I'm not going to do it forever. Once I start feeling resistance, I come back up to the shoulder and see if anything's going to give. Oh, wow. Thank you. If they want to be together so bad and they're so short and tight, let's help them out. And then they'll find out they're not very compatible in that position. It was intense, it was a little bit deep, but definitely necessary at this point. Because we're starting to find where she's really short in this shoulder, we're giving into it, the body feels safe revealing this. Now, I'm getting a little aggressive, but that's because we're on the same page. There we go. I don't feel any lymph nodes in here, any lymph swelling. That's why I feel comfortable coming in with one finger, my thumb. I'm not trying to create any sensation for her. What I'm trying to do is find where there's tension, find where there's imbalance, figure out if it's restricting the movement. Is there a way for me to help it? And now that shoulder just went back into place. Now it's not going to stay there, but we just created a neural pattern or a neural pathway for it to realize it has a home there. Just feeling a little more tension in this thumb. It could be that all of the protrusion and kind of tightness in the front of the pec was actually limiting the ability of the thumb to extend and contract. I'm not doing tons of pressure. This area is sensitive enough. I'm just gonna work on getting that joint back into the socket any angle I can. So I'm kind of doing an opposing thing here. I'm pulling the thumb upwards while I'm pressing down on my left hand into the anterior deltoid and getting into the bicep, etc. It's kind of like a opposing force. It keeps my work easy. It helps me modulate and control the pressure as well. This is all me now. The bicep can deeply influence the rhomboids and in between the scapula. So right now you're actually releasing a lot of your upper back and your neck. All right, we're gonna come right into this pec. Definitely feeling like just need some attention in this area. Proprioception or just some tissue work. It's been working hard, it's been contracting, it's muscular. Now that she's warmed up, I feel comfortable with coming in. So I'm gonna find that muscle, that kind of tissue, trying to avoid any lymph. And don't go right into the center because that's going to be really uncomfortable. But I'm trying to get that pec attachment across the front. I see it as the restrictor right now. Now the bicep needs a little more, but really it's that tricep. So since Lauren is my client, when we finish up, I will be telling her to go roll this out, to go take care of it. It's easy to get caught up with the one that we think is doing all the work, but this guy's stabilizing for her. And it might be restricting or limiting her recovery right now. I'm just going to do a little bit of weight of my hand down. And that's calming our nervous system down a little bit. And this concludes our massage. If you enjoyed that video, please go check out our Patreon page. Otherwise, I loved working with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time. Have a good week.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.